I love making lots of little birds, as you know, and this is one of my favourites. This is a little dove, and her name is Hope, and here she is. You can have lots of fun making Hope in all sorts of different ways, and I love to reuse fabrics and materials when I make my little birds, and Hope is no exception. And so I've got little bits of leftover. This was a waistcoat that my daughter had when she was tiny, made out of fur fabric, so I'm now repurposing that. This was from an old skirt that doesn't fit her anymore. These, the chest here, I actually crocheted this from some wool fragments, but sometimes I was given a whole roll of this lace, and I sometimes crochet the front of the dove with the lace as well, so you can achieve all sorts of different effects, or lots of other different types of wool. This is a chenille type of wool, so you can crochet the front section, or you can just use a piece of fabric. So the fun thing is, because you do them with lots of leftover bits, no two are ever the same. So although this is one of my little doves, none of them look the same, even though I follow the same basic pattern. So I'm just going to run through how you can have a go from a really simple pattern at making your own little dove of Hope. And I hang one always in my window, and I also give them away to my friends and family, because I think it's lovely to bring a bit of hope into people's lives. So this is where I start. I start with these pieces of fabric, and it's the same as my basic robin pattern in the first instance. So there is a body piece and a head gusset that's sewed together here and here. I'll get that bit started in just a minute. The tail on the dove is slightly wider than on the robin, so when it opens out it just fans out a little bit more. So the under section, so when I make the robin I do it in 3 sections. I have a chest piece, a lower section and a tail section, but on this one I've put the lower tummy and the tail all together in one, but you can embellish this bit if you want to. So you could split it if you wanted to use 2 different types of fabric here. So like on this one, that is all one piece under there, which is all one piece of felt, but then I've just embellished it with a little bit of lace. So you can have a bit of fun doing it however you want. And if you want to crochet the tummy, then I'll do that on a separate little video. I'm not a great crocheter, but I can do an English double crochet, which can do most things. And this is really, really easy to do. So you could crochet the tummy if you wanted, but I'll do that on a separate video, and I will today make it with a little piece of fabric. So hopefully that'll be quite enjoyable. I'll get it started so that you can see how easy it is to get going, and then I will do each little section separately. So if you just start by threading up your needle, and then the first bit I always start with is the head and the body section. So the head gusset, sewing that into the body. The main thing to remember is just to make sure that your tail sections match up. So I've got my body sections here. I've just pinned them together to make sure they're exactly in line, and then the head gusset just sews in here. So you have a little bit of a join with the two, just here is a direct join of the 2 body sections together. So I'm just going to start there before I put the head gusset in. So just on the end tip here, and I'm going to do all this just with a back stitch. So really anyone could have a try at this one. Try not to use a fabric though that frays too near the edge, because it's quite small, so you want to make sure that whatever fabric you use has got a fairly strong edge. So I've just done an over there. I'm just going to join in the head gusset. So I'm just first of all going to sew that in to this top body piece, and I'm going to sew it the whole way around here. Just a small neat stitch. Okay, so I've reached the end of that first part of the head gusset. I'm going to make sure that it's still absolutely lined up, and then I'm just going to do a join here just so that I make sure I get this exactly in line. I will then come back and sew the whole way down that line, but I'm just going to get that head gusset firmly in place before I do anything else. Then I'm just going to turn it over and just sew the head gusset into the other body section. So I'll just push the needle through and take that pin out now because I don't need it. It's nice and firmly in place. And then I will just join, if you can see, so I've joined down that edge, and now I'm just going to join it down this edge here to this section of the body. Just make sure the two pieces are closely together, and then you just complete that row of back stitch to the end. Like so. And always remembering, I do say this when I make things with children, they will all chant it to me, how do you start and finish? Over, over, over. That's the way I always teach it. And actually I've made lots of lovely things with children as well as with grown-ups, and I think it's great if they can get sewing young and feel that joy of actually having an outcome that they can feel really proud of and have some fun with, and maybe even share with someone else even better. So then I'm just going to make sure that that head gusset then has joined in here, and just to finish that off I'm just going to just go over this bit here. So that is the first part, that's attaching the head gusset, and then just snip it off. And I'll just show you the next bits. So you've got the head gusset nicely in place. The next bits then, you will do a row of back stitch from here to the tip and stop there. That's really, really important. And then your tummy, so whether or not you use a piece of fabric or a crocheted piece, those will attach in the front, so you can see how it fits together. But the next bit, if you just do a row of back stitch from here to here, that's really straightforward, and then I will show you how to do the front of the bird.